Oh, you watching the Comedy Plug on Pharcyde TV. Bammy. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, what it do, party people? You hear the sound, so you know what it is. You rocking with the speech guy, Tony Asar, ASAR, coming from the land of sugar free. So you know it's nothing sweet, but everything's nice. We got a brand new episode of the Comedy Plug for you. That's right, where we play those bass, those slaps, those ha-has, and of course it wouldn't be the plug if I didn't bring a homie with me. So thank you for checking us in every week. You know, everyone we're fresh, whether it be 101.5 FM, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or us streaming on Pharcyde TV on YouTube. We appreciate you. Ooh. Shout out to the producer one time at Maven, content creators. She does all the things that you see behind the scenes and more if you follow us at fm.comedyplug. We got a good show for you, party people. I don't know how you been all week. I've been great. I couldn't wait to get back here. But this ain't about that, man. It's about the slappers that I got up next. And shout out to Vel9, formerly Vel the Wonder, with that new one from Cypress Moreno, Big Body. And you know where you heard it at, baby. Ooh, the Comedy Plug. Oh, come on now. I don't think we do cold opens over here. If once again you was feeling any of the songs you were hearing, go ahead and click the link in the bio and it'll take you to the playlist. But you know, it ain't about that, man. It's about my homie with me. And this guy is one of the new cats that I met over in quarantine while I was out doing my thing there on and after. And he has a nice little pizzazz, a little quirky humor to him. And he got locks like me, but they're a little bit more stylish and stronger. I gotta get his hair regimen. But without further ado, I'll allow the man to tell you what your name is.
Yeah, it's Mark Boyle. What's going on, man?
Hey, baby, how's it going? So you stuck in the LA traffic on the way over here?
Yeah. That one-on-one is brutal right now.
Ooh, but if you're coming from the one-on-one, I mean, you in the Hollywood area.
Yeah.
What do they call that? LA proper.
I get, yeah.
You know what's funny? I lived in California my whole life. I never heard of LA proper to people who just moved here. Like,
started calling it that.
It was like, I live in LA proper. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, it doesn't sound right.
Where can I track that? But that's what's up, my G. Thank you for making the time to come through. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you came through because you're actually an interesting cat, man. So
thank you, dude.
You're from Georgia by way of Chicago?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And so when did you make that transition from the Midwest to the South?
When I was like 17.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
So what was the culture different like in there? Because you really got some Chicago in you.
I mean, so I grew up in like the south suburbs, if I'm truly honest, in Chicago.
What is that in the Chirac demographic?
It's like 20 minutes outside of the south side.
Oh, oof.
So I mean, look, the projects got torn down like right when I was going into high school. No, a little bit earlier. So, I mean, we got a little bit of people that were coming out of the city, and then a lot of people just would come out of the city to go to those schools just because they were better, you know what I'm saying? But overall, I was not living that life like that, you know?
Hey, even better, though, because, you know what? I don't like the black narrative of where it comes to where we gotta come from dangerous mind environment. So, did you go to, like, a private school while...
No, I went to a regular public school.
Okay. But just better overall compared to the inner city.
Yeah, I mean, the south suburbs were awesome. I mean, they were awesome as far as like where I grew up, as far as the schools and everything like that. It was a little like, when I think back on it, it was predominantly black. People had their own houses, you know, people had backyards, stuff like that. It was nice.
It was like nothing like Skid Row.
It was nothing like Skid Row or the hood. But now it's a lot different, really. I mean, like, stuff is, so many people have left. So many black people are leaving Chicago. So many black people leaving South Suburbs. So a lot of that stuff is like, you know, there's like schools that are shutting down, stuff like that. It's very weird. It's very weird, yeah.
Gentrification is weird.
gentrification, and then of course, white people are coming in and like whatever. It's like making
wow,
it fresh.
you did pretty good here.
It's very interesting what's going on there, and there's still a whole bunch of people in there still rich with culture and things like that. But like there is a migration happening. You know what I'm saying? Quite frankly, I think like the whole country is about to look different in the next 10 years. I think
definitely
a lot of people from the coast are about to be going in the Midwest. I think.
There has already been a transition or a great migration, is what that they left. Predominantly from California, people I went
and
to
New York,
Arizona, Texas, and Nevada. Those are the three main. And New York people are starting to make
Georgia, Colorado,
which is why those. Unfortunately, they don't know how bad capitalism is, but that's why they're starting to get an influx of money,
rent and money,
and new political thought.
Yeah, that's why Georgia swung blue this last election. It's crazy. I'm not trying to get into politics, but like that's huge.
Not only did they swing blue, they also got weed on the ballot for their state this coming election.
Yes.
So that's like, and that could change. Imagine how free Atlanta rappers can be in the freeways.
They'll start corny rappers are gonna come because it's not gonna be illegal anymore.
Hey,
which is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's not gonna be like running anymore. It's gonna be like right when Young Thug and Gunna go into jail for Rico. Wow, so sad.
It's so sad. I know now states are passing those type of laws to music, but. So jump back to go forward. So make that transition from Chicago. Where in Georgia did you end? Was it?
It wasn't Atlanta. No, it was like Forsyth County. I got family all in Atlanta.
Forsyth County. That's historic.
You know Forsyth County.
I know Forsyth. Well, I know what happened to Forsyth.
Yeah, Oprah went there. Oprah went there that one time. But what else do you know?
Oh no, I know before the whole Lake Lanier thing. Before the got taken, it was Native American land of the Creek people.
Yes.
And then from there, they went ahead and America did this thing where it went back on its word and took the land that they said would never be up for sold, and then they set them on forth. The Trail of Tears, which is a real thing. People look that up. It's really bad what America did then. And then they gave it to the slaves who, unfortunately for them, they were smart enough to make it prosperous until, again, you know that thing where white women get hurt. That thing happened. Yeah. And then so they went ahead and killed they killed 3 kids. They let the girl go. I guess they didn't feel like she was a threat. But, oh, sorry. Yeah, I do know the history of it, though. Yeah. It's deep. But,
I have heard that story before. Right. Forsyth County. We're talking about Forsyth County.
Right. Well, I know Lake Lanier is in Forsyth County.
Yes.
And that's why I know what happened in Forsyth County. Right. Do I know Forsyth County? No, but I'm very familiar with
it's like close to Tennessee. It's north, you know what I'm saying? It's a mountain place. That's where they shot the movie Deliverance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So give you an idea of their beautiful, beautiful place. You know what I'm saying? I only spent like a year there, and then I went to the military. So I was only there for a very short amount of time. Okay. But I went back there several times. But Georgia, man, I mean, it's a beautiful place. It's interesting. It is the South. It's changing, and it's like, I feel like it's very comparable to Phoenix in some ways. Have you ever been to Arizona? You live in Arizona?
I've driven through Arizona. I've never stopped.
It's a very interesting place because it's super black in some areas, in a lot of areas, and then super white in other areas, and just like there's a lot of culture shift going on there. It's fire, man. I think it's and also it swung blue this last time. So just like I just think that's gonna be crazy. Will I move back there? Probably not. Not happening, but still like a lot of respect for that place, you know.
That's what's up. So what made you make the jump to you a Marine? Yeah. That's like the hardest one of them all, right?
Yeah.
13 weeks in or something, Jazz?
Yeah, I mean, it's 13 weeks boot camp. What made me do that? I just knew what made me do that. I wanted free school. If I'm really truly honest. Okay. I knew that if I had went at that time, I would have like failed out. So I was like, man, I don't want to just get debt. I do not want to get myself in just a whole bunch of debt. Signing up for these classes, I know that I'm gonna just choke on this. So let me just go ahead and at least earn it myself, and then like figure out what I want to do from there. Okay. And then I kind of always wanted to live in California, so I was like, that's a possibility. And then it ended up happening through by way of 29 Palms, California, but still I got there. Ooh. Right. Yeah. You live in Pomona?
I've driven through there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nothing with a lot of heat.
Exactly. So I mean, like Joshua Tree, Yucca Valley, 29 Palms. That's that area.
Yeah,
you know,
they letting you do acid because that's kind of the only thing to do out there.
Shrooms. They don't let you in the military do it, and that's what I'll say on that. They don't let you. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. So, what's one of the misconceptions of people like civilians like me may get about people who served in the military?
Man, what an interesting question. You know, I would say that like a lot of those people in there, a lot of people that are in the military see things from a different perspective because you were in there and you really, here we go.
What's an example, real quick?
Okay, when you're in there, you notice that everybody in there is coming from, for the most part, a broke family. Not broke, but just like if you were rich, you would not have gone into the military. Okay, so everybody's coming from middle class or down for the most part, right? Okay. And it's from every background, right? So I mean, yeah, there's differences in like culture, but in a lot of ways, you see a lot of poor white people, a lot of poor Mexican people, a lot of poor, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so like, when you're looking at things from that point of view and you looking at wired by their and or everyone's reasons, you know, we all came here because we wanted a chance, you know what I'm saying, within a system, you know what I'm saying? So like no matter what you maybe learn, there is a point where it's like we all agree, and like there would be straight up Republican dudes, straight up libertarian dudes, straight whatever you would call them, racist people, you know what I'm saying? If not, yeah, all of our backgrounds, and we all in there at partying, you know what I'm saying, at certain times over, you know, because we're working so hard or whatever, but it's just like there's, you know, seeing people that I knew were racist when I first met them and then building a relationship with them. And maybe I'm one of the first black people they ever met. And I got my own misconceptions on them. That is a weird situation that changes you and like forever. You kind of be like, man, really, if I got put in a situation with that person for a long time, I probably would end up finding a base, you know what I'm saying, on them. Sounds so weird. It makes me sound like it can be isolating when these super intense, like triggering things happen in media, you know, because I might look at it from a different point of view for a second. I still be like, no, that's messed up, but I'd be like, yeah, but also, and that just makes me look like maybe I got a sympathizer or something like that, but I'm just like, no, I just have a different point of view, and that could be isolating. So yeah, that is a thing, and it's just like, you took an option, like, you know what I'm saying? You have free school, you have benefits, you have these things just because you played the game in that way. You know, it's interesting because it's kind of topical right now because we got this $10,000 that Biden is saying he's forgiving,
or $20,000,
if you got a Pell Grant, So if it's $10,000 if you make less than $125,000. Right, or $250,000 if you're married, and if you got a Pell Grant, then it's $20,000 you get off. You know, so I mean, like, I be feeling like there's people that wouldn't be working if they weren't in school debt, you know, or there's people that would be living way more free if they wouldn't be crippled by school debt. You know what I'm saying? People will make. I make so many different decisions in a way. I be making choices off work. I'll quit a job. I will quit a job because I don't have debt like that. I was like, man,
honestly, I don't have debt like that, and I am able to do a lot more things. My credit cards aren't as restricted. Or, you know, there is, unfortunately, there is a
people move different
economic freedom that comes to not. Like, I should have finished college, but also I'm glad I didn't. You know,
are you doing what you want to do?
I actually am. I never graduated.
Come on,
we're in a radio station on
right now. You crushing it. You're doing very well. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm not saying education isn't good. There's many professional things that does help, and you could get yourself in a career. But if you're getting yourself there, I'm not knocking school. School is amazing.
School is very important because a lot of people do need that, again, that perspective, that challenge of thought.
And a lot of these working fields and places are very competitive, you know what I'm saying?
Very but also what I'm starting to notice, because of certain fields, it's giving the workers more control back.
True.
There is, I think that's another weird thing that's kind of going on with the economy is jobs are realizing like, dang, they ain't taking this no more.
Well, so there was this article that was out that they said that like so many people got college degrees and they didn't get jobs in their degrees. So a lot of people with degrees are working, maybe more labor intensive or jobs that didn't require degrees.
Dude, I never had a degree. I was a supervisor of someone that had a bachelor's.
Yes.
They worked under me.
This is happening a lot.
I know, that's why I got a lot of attitude from them. I try to sympathize them, but first of all, you obviously don't have the type of character traits that takes to be a supervisor. Your degree. Sorry, Carmelita.
Obviously, you make a couple bad decisions.
And I made the right one.
Exactly. So but there's a lot of people within the labor force that it was a thing. It was just like, no, people with degrees will never work at maybe Target or Starbucks. There's a lot of people with degrees, right? Yes. So now, because of those people who've gotten degrees, they know what they deserve. So you're seeing a lot of pushback for HR, a lot of pushback of like, employee rights and labor rights and all these things. That's why Amazon almost is unifying, unionizing.
That almost crippled them for some weird reason. Why is it when you're asked to be treated well, it cripples the other person that was torturing
Insane.
You're like, why are you doing this to me?
Insane. It's gaslighting.
You want a fair living wage?
You're typing from your super yacht in the Red Sea, telling me that if I get a fair living wage, that if I get more than 20 minutes to go take a piss on the job, that I'm gonna ruin your life.
I mean, honestly, COVID was a blessing because now you're allowed to call off work.
Yeah.
This newer generation or Z's, I hate to sound like that. I'm only in my 30s, but I've been working since 14, and so I do remember the difference. And earlier, you were never allowed to call off work. Mm-hmm. And if you were sick, you better find a way to get there type jazz. And you better have 2 kids, not 1 kid. You better have 2 kids if you need to call off.
Yes.
It was wild back then. Now it's like COVID. Jobs just be like, if you just feel a sniffle, stay at home.
Beautiful.
It's like, this is how it should have been.
Yeah, dude. I had a friend. COVID is doing some good work out there. I just want to shout out to COVID a little bit. It's doing a lot of terrible things, but I have a friend. You know what? I'm gonna say it because it's just brilliant. No one's gonna know, but because of how weird COVID was, he got a divorce and his family broke up, right?
Yeah.
But recently his kids got COVID, and so he had to come home, and they moved and like split houses and stuff. And recently his kids got COVID, so he had to come take care. And he was there so long, he got COVID, and then they started looking at each other like, maybe we could make this work out.
Wow.
And COVID brought them back together, bro. Like, dog.
Wow.
And he just like, man, I really wasn't, it's beautiful. And I mean, so I'm happy, but isn't that crazy?
It's a COVID love story. They need to sell the rights to Lifetime, who could then sell
HBO Max. HBO Max is really making the fire shit right now.
Are they people of color?
They're not people of color.
Oh, then yeah, definitely go to HBO Max. They're doing the whole thing over there.
Whiteness? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, We'll get into it later, but there is a thing of whiteness going on. And
they canceled a whole bunch of shows recently, and most of them are black?
No, the statistics shows that they're going to start catering to the more Midwest white Caucasian crowd more so, and that's why they canceled the shows, because it doesn't align with the Midwest values. That's a real thing.
We're seeing that way more often than we really realize.
Because you know why? The shit... Carmelita, I'm sorry. Shout out to the FCC people. But what it is what was going on in the last 10 years, I actually feel, is that it was all fake and it wasn't really built on anything strong with an actual solution to it. It's all going to start crumbling down. We're about to backtrack. So we had 10 years of PC-ness, we're about to get 10 years of anti-PC-ness, and then after that, fine with the great equalizer.
Oh, it's swinging, the pendulum.
That part.
Yeah. I mean, I see these shows, man. It's very interesting. I see first off, I see people that supposedly, look, I'm trying to say this objectively here, and just as an artist that does surrender things to people, right? Mm-hmm. So as a person that says something that maybe that could be offensive and or just is my opinion, I could be offensive to the middle of America, could be offensive to the coast, who knows? But nevertheless, seeing what actually be selling tickets still, what actually stays on TV because of views, never didn't really change. But we had this idea that they were being super PC, but in reality, they were still getting views, and those people still exist very much so.
Louis C.K.'s last special that he sold on his own personal website set him right. So yeah, it's just another clever Jedi mind trick. And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. But real quick, before we keep it going with the comedy portion, I did want to ask you this. Since you did spend some time in the military, did any of those habits trickle over?
Oh, I'm institutionalized terribly. What are we talking about? Yes. What are we saying, bro? Hell yeah. I mean, good and bad shit, you know?
That's what I was going to ask. So, all right, since you said good and bad, what was the bad portion that trickled over into civilian life?
It's so things are so simple in the military. So, you know, like, you're only dealing with your work day and, you know, your work day and after work, which is still taking care of maybe your military equipment or your room or whatever. Very simple. What your work is, that, I mean, you may have some tertiary duties outside of your job, but that's your whole world. You really not dealing with that many bills and or overall like living life or just like distractions that you have out in this regular world. So you know, like, so that thinking that it was gonna be like that, you kind of get used to doing that, and there's no way to prepare people for that, the way that their life is gonna be outside. So I would say, like, overall, just taking care of myself, you know, I thought that it was going to be a lot easier because I thought I had more time, or just like, I just didn't realize how easy it was for me to focus.
It sounds like you actually got the college experience you was looking for, because that's how you come out of dorms. That's how I see most of these kids come out of dorms.
So yeah.
Like, why is it so hard?
But it's not even that much opposite sex around. If you're a man, so at least you dealt with girls, way more girls when you was in college, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That to a certain degree, and you dealt with brokenness to a certain degree, right? So like you kind of more prepared in a little bit, like, because you're like, oh, I can get a job now, I can do this.
True.
Here it's like, oh shit, like I'm not just waking up every 1st and the 15th with money in my pocket that I, you know, even though I was living, it didn't seem like I worked hours, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's actually fire, my G. We're gonna keep it going, with the comedy portion of the podcast episode.
What's
it's
up?
Coming up with Crystal Adams off her brand new album, Ain't I a Wombat, which you could go ahead and stream on all the social media platforms. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And you know you heard it, baby. Come on now. Once again, if you enjoyed any of the songs that you heard so far, be sure to check them out over with the link in the bio if you're streaming this from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Deezer, iHeartRadio, or if you're viewing it over on Pharcyde TV. That's right, baby. That's where you can get all the exclusive on who these artists is. But it ain't about that, man. It's about the homie with me. And like, real quick, Margie, I don't know, I had this moment where I was married, got married young, had a kid young, and then got divorced young. And that in itself was in a journey of its own, you know what I mean, as far as the whole rebuilding. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
I mean, yeah, I was married too, young and divorced young. Didn't have no kid though. Made it out.
Smart man.
Made it out.
This is a smart guy.
It was hard to not, but made it out, you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking like so young, 21 years old.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Goofy. What was I doing? You loved her. I was in love, you know. Jesus. Just, what the hell? Hilariousness.
Was it love or was it a good moment?
Whoa. I mean, it was love. No, I do think it was love. It wasn't just a good moment. I did love her. You know what I'm saying? I still looked at her as a friend, and that was it was really, you know, what it was. It was young love, but it had nothing else that made sense about it. But again, I didn't have my education or any cert or anything that make anything make sense. So it's just like, of course, that is gonna mess things up. you could be like, oh no, we're gonna make it through this, but you know, whatever. A lot of life experience and shit.
Yeah. Sorry, Carmelita. FCC don't really like me, but how did you find the strength to move forward from that and rebuild from after that?
What you think? What a question. I think about those moments where you 23, 24, and you feel like a 50, 45-year-old man.
Wow, let's talk about it.
Bro, you're going through a divorce at 24. Like, what? And, you know, the whole, like...
smoking a pack of cigarettes.
Bro, you just sitting at a bar with your elbow on it, bro, looking down at an old-fashioned. What is going on? Thinking about thinking about a divorce, bro, vows, having to call up a divorce office, splitting stuff. You ain't got nothing to put on the paper but a PS4 and a Challenger to split. It's so stupid. The Challenger was crispy, dog. So just like, how do you find the strength? Like, well, also like, I didn't lose that much because I ain't have shit. So rebuilding was all emotional, really. If I really had like a house,
but that's for me. Yeah, man, I lost money and all this other jazz. But yeah, the possession stuff don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's the stuff, I don't know. For what it did for me was it kind of beat up my manly spirit a bit to where
ego.
I felt like, whoa, I'm a bad provider.
Oh.
Like, that's what it spoke to me. I'm not saying that spoke to you, but...
No, it did. You saying real shit.
Did anything resonate with you to where, yeah, no, it's cool. The FCC, we already had this conversation last week.
You be touching real moments. I can control myself from this point forward, but that hit a little bit. So here we are.
That part, but that's just what I'm saying. So was there a moment where, again, I guess ego was crushed, and that's the rebuilding phase I'm talking about? Because losing the ego, killing the ego is one thing, but losing your ego, that's a whole nother beast.
Yeah, so looking at yourself as a man in a way, you know, I feel like being in a really intense relationship can make you look at yourself as a man. And if it's like now you to a point where you got other people depending on you, and maybe you didn't completely fail, but you stumbled, you know, if you ain't got nobody around you to tell you there's gonna be ups and downs or anything like that, it could be an intense process to get yourself back up and know that you can continue forward.
Tutor somebody through that, you know, even if you have someone.
There's men that's been through it. If you have somebody to talk to, if you have a male figure in your life, hopefully that's older, he gonna tell you, bro, I've been there. What you talking about?
That part.
Hopefully you got a dad, hopefully you got a friend, hopefully you got an uncle that'll really be like, gee, I go through, nobody, I can't say it to nobody, but there's still stuff in this house right now I gotta fix. They'll tell you that.
There's a lot of leaking.
It's a leak upstairs. You know what I'm saying? You think I want your sister living in the room with you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so there's like, the problems are gonna continue and you always gonna be questioned, but like, you know, there's always gonna be waves. There's always gonna be all these things. How you gonna, you know, maneuver through that stuff? There's always gonna be craziness. So like, that's just one of the first ones that were just earth shattering, you know?
That part.
So that's that. Like, you always have to deal with stuff. Look, like, okay, you went through a divorce when you're young. What happens when like later on in life you may lose the house that you've been putting in on, or you know, your kids acting up, or your parents come on, bro. Stuff like that, big things, and it's always brand spanking new. It's new stuff because you're at a new level, so it's like it's always something that you've never dealt with before. So
I'll ask this though: since you experienced heartache early, has that changed your mind on love and relationships in life? Are you still believing in monogamy? Are you a polygamy guy, or are you just like whatevs?
Dang, bro, you getting it in right now, bro, with these questions. So it's interesting because like the women that I date have not been married yet for the most part, right?
Brilliant. This man is smart. I hope people are taking notes. Keep going.
So they have not been married yet. So I've already seen it go through. Like, I feel like even if I'm dating a woman older than me, I'm looking at it from like a 40-year-old view.
Exactly.
I'm like, I already know how this goes. Not all the way because you're a new person, but at the same time, I know what the flow is.
And the transition of the woman.
I've already made a woman hate me.
Yeah.
I've already made a woman hate me as much as she could. All right, so let me see if I can do this to you now. Right? And how fast? Not let me
I
see.
can make you love me.
Exactly.
How quick?
How quick are you gonna be hating me and looking at me with pure disgust? You know what I'm saying? Well,
you just want to punch me in the morning.
Yeah.
I see it on your face.
Or nothing that I say means anything. You know? Hey, I'm putting away money. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. Like,
oh, dude. When your woman lose faith in
come
you,
on, bro.
We're talking about different broken dreams.
Yes.
My parents could say I never gonna make it. That's all right. Your woman don't believe in your dreams.
Come on, dog.
What that feel like?
It's just like your spine is out your body. You might as well be a worm, dude. You trying to talk to her and it's just going through. You can tell that the words just going because she's just looking through you like you are not it. You ain't got your words don't mean nothing. You're not gonna do the stuff you said, you know? And then also you take that, so then you break up with her and then you go to the next woman, or you thinking that all women look at you that way.
Oh, dude.
You walk out.
That's a rehabilitating.
Bro, bouncing back. So then you walk around.
It's harder for me.
She don't even know. A new woman looking at you like, wow, look at this guy. Why is he out here? And you thinking that she didn't talk to your girl and knows
like you're
how whack you are.
Like you're this. Man, I felt like a monster. I felt a boogeyman.
Thank you.
For a couple. About a good span.
Dude.
Time.
So yeah, whatever the time zone is. So, but what I think challenging yourself. You know what I'm saying? And doing things that are new, that you have interest in.
That part.
Failing and moving forward and learning.
Upward.
Come on, that's the things that teach you more about yourself again and remind you who you are, which is go like, you know, get your step and let you stand up again.
I'll ask you this. Now knowing what you know now, you think you could have made it work?
Now knowing what I know now, do I think I could have made it work? If I was who I am right now, we'd still be together. Easily. Yeah. If I was who I am now, we would be fine. We'd be perfectly fine. I mean, everything. It's crazy. You learn every time a girl asks something of me, right? And then I can't provide it or can't get it or not at the level, I'm not mature enough. We break up and then I get whatever that thing is, right? I'm mature into that, or I get whatever it is. I level up, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you know, the woman's always going to push you. I feel like she's going to be
always.
Like, and it's crazy. Like, you'll date a girl and you just got done being homeless and now you in a house, right? Yeah. You was living in your car. She don't even see how far you came. Yeah. But she's still like, well, now you need to live on your own. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to, okay. I just got inside. Monster. Thank you. Now it's like, now you need to fight this new boss.
In video games, when you defeat a big boss, there's a story mode.
There's a little moment of floating.
A little trailer, a little movie moment, and then we gonna go.
Then we fight the new stuff. Can I walk around with this new armor and beat up some of the young guys for a second?
I just want to enjoy the graphics, okay?
Jesus, let me float for a second with this new sword. Don't even get to do that.
That part.
And
back to the trash. No, but a man's failure isn't that some of them is just a part of them. You know, you moved to California and, you know, you did the thing with the whole military. Mm-hmm. You know, I imagine you went overseas, enjoyed some cultures over there before bouncing back and all that. But now you're no longer the brother that moved from Chicago to Georgia and got divorced. You're no longer the Marine. Now we're getting into, when did you decide you was going to hit that mic?
Right.
Because you got all this background, but what made that but like comedy?
Yeah, I started that in 2015, January. I was still married when I first started.
Okay.
So,
same.
Yeah. So I was in Orange County.
You know what that place is, right?
Do I know what Orange County is?
You know how crazy that place is.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
People don't believe me, but I'm like, if you just go to Orange County, it get very...
I had the short dreads at the time, and they treated me so different. I'll say this.
I bet.
It was easy because I was black and I was hurting me, right? Because I'm so different than the other people that are coming up that they're ready to make me laugh just because I have a different point of view. You know what I'm saying? So I was pigeonholing myself out there. Not saying I was just crushing, but it was just like hard for me to get a real gauge on who I was and what my real voice was.
Versus that county's culture, right?
Yeah. I mean, anything I say, I just like, I woke up black today. They'll laugh at that.
And if anyone from Orange County, California is listening and you feel some type of way, you know what it is, bro. But
you know it's racist. Stop playing.
You know what it is, bro.
Yeah, it's not all just terrible, but it's deep.
The deeper you go.
Also, that's like the
deeper you go.
Yeah, that's like the South. That's the South.
Facts.
Yo,
it's very red.
It feels like, yes, it's red over there. Thank you. So like, come on, you saw it. You saw it, whatever. We didn't even got to get into it. So that's where I started. I only spent a year out there.
Good.
So I mean, I was like, I was okay. I got my feet wet. I met a bunch of friends that year after I moved right to LA. Moved out to LA.
Was that for the comedy or you had something else lined up?
Yo, like the reason I moved was because I went through divorce and got kicked out of my place. So it was all simultaneous. Like Orange County spit me out, bro, and then I just to LA, moved to my aunt's, lived on her couch for a second, and then just been making it happen ever since, bro.
That's the bit.
Yeah. So I mean, and then like, you know, the balance between making your life happen and like doing stand up, like whatever. That's that.
It is a grind in itself. It is like trying to find in where you fit in this industry. Like, because like I feel like a lot of artists, they come to Cali focus on the art part, you know, and like the technique and all that, like
the craft,
the thrill of the soul of the laugh or all that, and it's all beautiful and whatnot. But as I tell cats, it's like, nah, man, this stuff about business. You gotta see, you know, get in where you fit and see how you can move. And like, I don't know how you felt moving to LA for, you know, your first time experiencing it, but I know. Sometimes I get critiques, people saying like LA is fake and all this jazz, and I'm like, there's a portion of that, but you can find your tribe. You know what I mean? Did you experience were you able to find your tribe in the mix?
So you said a couple things there. The first thing, talking about like the craft versus business, like I feel like I'm just playing the game for the first time in a way, like playing the game a little bit more in the last like year. So that's my first time really doing it. Before I was on the craft stuff and, you know, having this nobility about just, you know, finding a creative home and honing. But that don't necessarily get you out there, right?
It don't.
So, you know, a big part of this is, you know, making people care about what you have to say, right?
Exactly.
That's a whole, there should be a whole book about that, right? Values.
Orientation.
Yes. So whatever that means to you and however you're gonna do that, that's a whole thing, right?
That part.
So then that's you know, politics, the game and industry, right? That's all over here. But like actually finding people that you talk to, that you want to be cool with, like people that say LA is fake, you probably are being fake and going and looking at fake places.
Exactly.
There's real people everywhere.
There's some real...
You know what I'm saying? You're probably walking right past them because you're like, that person doesn't look on or whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Or that person trying to talk to you and vibe with you. Come on. There's cool people everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them are from here. You know what I'm saying? They probably say, hey man, I got a barbecue, you want to come, and you turned it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not knowing you got to meet the real city.
The real people.
The real vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have met those people. Also, I got a little family out here that I don't kick it with enough. I love y'all. We got to vibe out a little bit more.
Shout out to the fam.
Yeah. I have family out here that I don't kick it with enough. So like, you don't even realize where sometimes your real people are, and or they there and you just not turning and reaching out to them. You reaching out to people that don't really want to be around you.
Yeah, because they just think they're gonna get something out of you. You know what I mean? I feel that. But when did you find your stride in the city? Did you hit it off the rip? Like,
I don't even think I have a stride yet. What do we talk about? Like, I don't even think I got.
You don't think you got your balance yet?
I think that I am on flyers here and there, and I'm getting on some shows that are locally produced, and I'm very blessed and happy for those. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like what's the word? I don't feel like I'm in a stride. I don't feel like I got inertia. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I feel like I'm just, people are looking up and seeing that I exist a little bit, but that don't mean nothing. Like, you know, I don't have inertia.
I like how you keep it 100.
Yeah.
So what's your scale of measure?
What's my scale of measure is like, how often are you getting booked? How often are people hitting you up for shows? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But, okay, we talking game here.
I'm keeping it 100.
Stage time. Say it. Is super hard to get and also possible, but some of it is not even forward progression. So, you know what I'm saying? Stage time isn't necessarily before progression. So you just going and doing, you know, a show, these mics over and over again, and not really actually make, even if you go to a mic and you just connect with everybody in the room, you don't even get up. but you just connect with everybody in the room. Sometimes that could be more progressive as a day of work than like you going and working on a bit that you either don't believe in or you already done a million times or whatever. Like finding out what is real for progression and what relationships are valuable and nurturing. You know what I'm saying?
That part.
That is a scale measure. When I have somebody that like I really connect with, then we kick it again, and then we say, and I think they actually funny, and then we like, hey, you want to do a show or something like that, or somebody hit me up from months ago and say, hey, bro, yeah, dude, that's a measure where like somebody sees the work I'm putting in and then puts me on their show, or they put me on their show the second time. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, rebookings is more important than the first one.
Yeah,
that is factual. That is factual, man. All right, so what is do you have a valid destination on what you want to do career-wise, or is it just stand-up comedy? Like, do you have, I want to be a writer for Netflix?
Man, I want to be writing. I want to be producing. I want to be producing films as well as TV shows, writing on them. I would act in them, but I don't need to be the main guy either, So that in a writer's room or producing, you know what I'm saying, or putting together writers' rooms. I notice I've been doing shows, and I noticed that I enjoy putting together a night, finding a venue, promoting, contacting everybody, curating a good lineup. I love that stuff. I like reaching out to everybody and telling them what's going to happen, and then like contacting her. I like that a lot. And then I like getting on stage and doing shows, but I kind of like, and I realized like not everybody likes producing shows.
Yeah, I can tell by the quality of the shows that they didn't enjoy producing.
They didn't like it. Yeah. So I want to put on fire shows and like get more. And quite frankly, I'm reaching out to these headliners. I'm gonna say it, and a lot of them ain't hitting me back. Right now they not hitting me back. Exactly. I don't got that connect, but I do have my friends, and I have people that are hilarious to me, and they are reaching back out, and so I'm able to put on a good show. But a lot of these headliners, they mess with me because I don't have a name. They'll mess with a producer that doesn't even do stand up before they hit me up, but it don't matter. I'm not like, I'm just saying out loud. Yeah. Like I'm not getting a lot of answers back when I'm trying to book fire. I am booking fire shows, but it's like with. Issa Rae says it like you should be laterally networking anyway. So I be trying to shoot my shot, maybe way up to the top with somebody that I'm not even that cool with yet. And it's a reminder that like that's not your person really yet. You need to connect with the dude that's funny as hell that will answer your call.
That part.
No,
9 out of 10. Because a lot of people do chase the ones that I would never even think of.
That don't look at you, don't know you, don't care about you. Yeah,
facts.
And then you getting all your feelings that's a huge thing. Like, I want a little lesson I learned. Man, where we started kicking it, where we started knowing each other, we be sitting at that bar all the time. We didn't even got to say the place. We sitting at that bar, like, we was sitting there like, why does everyone treat us like this here?
Yeah, that part. And there was even a point where we were walking away from it. It was like,
is this worth it?
Is this worth it? And honestly, that was, I think, we had a unison real moment.
Yes,
like,
bro.
What are we doing?
That was worthless. I sat there. I tried to talk to people. They gave me the cold shoulder the whole night.
Yeah.
What am I doing? I offered them spots. I would say, I went and built a show so I could say, hey, dude, come do my show. They still gave me the cold shoulder or blow me off or not show up. So it's like, what am I doing here? Maybe this ain't the spot for me. Maybe I'm not.
Or they just look up your follower account right in front of you. 1,500? No, thank you.
Thank you. I'm cool, bro. You ain't gonna pack a show out.
Oh, you got 10K. You need 10K, bro. You need 10K
Come on.
Talk to me.
There was some of that. There was some of that. So it's just like, bro, what am I doing here? Really? And so you gotta be like, being up in somebody's face, asking them, don't really do nothing. You really need to go, and if they hit you back, they hit you back, but really don't even care. Go do your own thing.
Exactly. Honestly, what was it? Corey Holcomb. I don't really agree with a lot of the things the guys say, but he does have valid points every now and then. And one of his valid points was like, he created his own thing.
Yeah.
So he's not worried about what anyone thinks of him. And I was like, you're right. You have your own thing. Your fans that you created here, they're here for this. Sometimes I'm here just to disagree with you. And I know, what does that say about me? But,
yeah,
but he got actual fans that support him. And I was like, I could see if he didn't have his own thing. Well, I don't know, probably the last I ever saw that, man.
Wait, what was that last part? What you say?
Oh, Wild
Out was
be the last part I ever saw of that.
Yeah.
So it's like even with the old heads, they still have to find a way to carve themselves out.
They still carving away.
Still carving.
Yes. And yeah, that whole thing of like I get my money from my own point of view. There's a comic that we both know, and he got connected with a huge comic. The comic reached out to him and said, "Hey man, the route that you're going is a lonely path, but with that, you know, you'll have your own fan base and you'll never be able to get canceled." You know what I'm saying?
That part.
So, like, when you getting your money out of your own pocket thing, I'm not saying everybody has that to be able to do that. Some people, you know, are very good at connecting with big brands and big platforms and things like that, and that's
Kevin
good for
Hart
them.
Shot it out of the atmosphere.
Yes. There's a lot of people like that, and I'll never knock that, but I always admire the people that have cult following. So
because
they like they're being their truest self, and I admire that so much.
And a cult following is honestly, it's more special. It's way more special because I'll even contribute Dave Chappelle's meteoric rise within the last 5 years being to the cult following of the Chappelle Show.
Yeah,
you know. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you can just you don't have to. Like, shout out to Kevin Hart and comics that can year after year after year after year, you know, drop movies.
But look how many times they try to throw him away. They try to throw away Kev.
True. They tried.
They tried.
But again, he created his own lane.
He did.
Created, like, he showed me that social media was the thing to use. I think he showed everybody. He showed everybody that social media was the thing to do. And because of that, you can't cancel him. Because his whatever 0.1 followers that he got, no matter anything bad you say to them, they're going to come to his side. People look at those ladies with R. Kelly like, why they keep running to his side? Because they're crazy. But also, that's his cult following.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Would you have a name for your cult followers? Would you have a name for your followers?
I don't have no name like that yet. I see a lot of people, hey cuties, hey babies. I don't got that. I don't got that. Yeah. Do that? I've never seen a dude do that. I think that's a more woman thing. Do guys, any guys call? I'm
trying to think, dude. No,
Is there one?
I guess The Rock, you just The Rock.
There's no like, hey Pebbles. You don't do that.
Shout out to my Pebbles and Bam Bams. It's The Rock.
Okay, so what did my Monsters? Lady Gaga called her fan base the Monsters.
Yeah.
Okay, so like Bad Bunny, I would say is equal to that, or Bad Bunny is that or
Hey bunnies.
He doesn't call. They don't do that.
They don't. I think we have a new lane.
Maybe we should just jump on it, bro.
I mean, it seems like it's been working for them. Why?
It has been crushing it. Yeah.
Why not? Shout out to my chucklers.
Yeah.
What up, chucklers?
That actually rolled off the tongue. You just know how to talk smooth, so I don't know if it actually is cool or not.
No, we're going to keep it going, keep it pushing. Once again, shout out to everybody that's streaming us, listening to us live on 101.5 FM. 101.5 FM. Thank you to the beautiful community of Boyle Heights. I love coming here every weekend. Go ahead and get some more of this food and bam bams. But be sure to follow us over at fm.comedyplug so you can get all the clips and behind scenes. And we shout out people in the story so you can see who's the new news of the who's of the ha-has. You feel me? And if you ever want to see it or catch the visual, you be sure to watch us 2 p.m. Wednesdays on Pharcyde TV. Am I right? Shout out to the producer, Maven, content creators. Everyone gotta have one. Or else I would have been lost my mind in this. I'm just saying. Alright, keep it pushing. And here you are rocking with the speech guy, Tony Asar, ASA. Alright, we're gonna continue with our comedy portion. More coming from Crystal Adams off that new Ain't I a Wombat? Ooh! And you know where you heard it at, baby. What it do, what it is. You rocking with the speech guy, Tony Asar, ASA. Are you listening to the Comedy Plug over here on 101.5 FM, or if you're on the streams, probably Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Deezer, and if you're shouting us or checking us out over on YouTube, Pharcyde TV, hey, you have to see that exclusively on Pharcyde TV to see what I did there. But it ain't about that, man. It's about the homie with me. And if you didn't know, my man also raps. That was actually his last track that we just played there called Used To, that you could find under the Sad Boy
Marco. Yeah.
And he had his homie on there.
Tumbling.
Oh, and you guys actually... So outside of the comedy, you seem to have found another art form, and you linked up with other comics as well, right?
Yeah.
A little hit us with it.
Man, it was during quarantine. The last place I was staying at, my roommate had a whole studio set up, and the day I went and looked at the spot, I freestyled with him. Right on the beat he had, and we was like, "Oh yeah, let's do something." Okay. So we started making music. I make 1 or 2 tracks with him, and I call my homies up like, "Bro, it's some energy over here. Y'all should just come over here and check it out." And we came over, vibed, laid a bunch of music down. I'm thankful for it. It was a very interesting peek into the music. Just, I'm not gonna say it came easy, but we made some bops. I'm very proud of them. Some of them, I'm like, you could tell that was my first time recording, you know? But yeah, dude, music is such a different
beast, right?
Man, bro. I mean, like, you know.
So, stand-up comedy in itself is like a journey inward. It's like a journey of self-discovery.
True is.
You know, because you got to find your truth. You got to find your voice. What are some ways that music might have showed you things that stand-up comedy might have missed?
Stand-up is so deliberate and controlled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas you can get the best stuff by flowing in music. And I mean that, like, there's a lot of deliberate, don't get it wrong. There's a whole bunch of things controlled, you know what I'm saying? Chords and all timing and things like that. But just like, as far as you just on a song vocally, you gotta release a lot, you know what I'm saying? And then you may get the first cut cool and then go back and lay that down properly. But it's like, man, it's such a different flow. It's such a feel, you know? And honestly, I got a better reaction from it than I did stand up. Like people laugh at me in person all the time, but like, you know, actually being a stand-up comedian is like.
Do you understand? Do you have a greater appreciation for stand-up now, seeing how it's easier in music to get a reaction?
Because it's still so hard to get a real reaction from music. You know what I'm saying? Like to make a song really chart or do anything like that, or how about not even chart? How about just get some buzz in your city? You got people listening that like your stuff. That is the first thing you need to do, right? And what that means. But also it taught me, man, dude, if we want to do things, you know, like if you want to do something, whatever it is, you want to do this, you have to contact these people, or they contacted you, or you have to say, hey, whatever. And then you have to take advantage of that opportunity, and then you had to find out what you want to do and blah, 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 right? And so with music, okay, what's my goal? I want to play on the stage. And it's just like, you know, making a goal, going for it, whatever all those things are that open up doors. I say that those are synonymous, and it kind of taught me more about, while I was doing music, I started my own comedy show by myself, you know? Okay. And that was happening kind of simultaneously. And I found a venue. My old roommate, man, even though we beefing a little bit right now, shout out to Luke. He did put me on at this first spot, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, shout out to him, bro. He really put me on in that. And like I was looking for a venue. I told him that, and I found one. But then all the other things that happened with producing your own stuff, bro.
The equipment and
finding commitment, contacting people. Come on, man. Like all these things that you gotta do to put, I nod off to everybody that's out there making and producing their own stuff, because it's stressful. Man, 20 years. I mean, yeah, all of that stuff. You know, they just came out with 60 best comedy shows in LA. Yeah. Like, you know, that means there's 100. That means there's 150 in reality.
That sounds more so
a week. You know what I'm saying?
From Burbank to downtown LA area.
Bro, maybe 200, bro. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even counting the valley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I wasn't even counting the valley.
Yeah, if we actually just look at the city.
LA County, if we do LA County, bro.
Oh,
it's ridiculous. It's probably too, so like, it's so many shows, but each one of the people, first off, it's a bunch of comedy producers that don't even do comedy. And those be the better shows if I really want to get into it.
That part.
And I look at what they did. I watch so many of these shows, you know what I'm saying? I go to these backyard shows or I go to these other shows and I'm like, what y'all doing? It's a lot of people that love shows, are in a network and produce and promote their ass off, you know?
Yes. And a lot of people tend to forget promote. Because, look, I understand bringing shows. I understand it's a pay-to-play system. You know, you always got to invest money into what you want to do, and there's always going to be people to make capital off of that, right? That's just kind of how it goes. That's what crypto.com arena is. You know, it's a pay-to-play. You know, you got to be able to, if you want to do something on there, man, you got to bring some bread to the table, pretty much, right? But it seems like in our tier of quality of shows, these produce a lot. I don't want to generalize it. Certain producers feel like it's solely up to the talent to get people to their show.
Man,
there's a responsibility to the talent. There is a responsibility to the talent. There is. I'm not saying like they got to be on the bum, and you know even Future got to make a post unless it's by Meg Thee Stallion and he ain't got to say nothing. But isn't it mostly up? Or how do you feel as being a producer? And, you know, I'll stage it better like this. From an artist to a producer, how do you feel the promotion should go? Where's the even split when it comes to artists and producers?
I have given up on thinking that comics, even these popular comics in the city, thinking that they're going to really promote my show. Yeah. It's my responsibility if I want people there. I want to give a good show to the audience and I want to give a good show to the comics. That's on me. Okay? I've tried to get people that I think would bring out people. They not answering me right now. You know what I'm saying? I think they want to see more from me.
Whoever isn't answering Mark Boyd's emails or texts, bro, just pick
answer me, bro. It's a good show, G. I'm telling you.
It's an opportunity.
It really is. And I'm paying too. Stop playing. So it's like, but also, okay, so from a booker's point, you want to get fire acts, book a good enough show. You should have something that each people want. That's what I'm saying. So if you a booker and you a comic and you want to have a fire comic on your show, well, you better have something that they would like. What does that mean? If you offering a weekend spot, you better have a weekend rate. If you offering a week spot, you have a week rate. Okay, that's that. Now, if you want good people, you know what I'm saying? But if you a comic, what do you want? You want stage time on really big shows? But people really just want to have a face on a flyer. They don't even care about doing it. So people really just be wanting to face on a flyer and then back out on the show last second. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, a lot of people need to find out what they really want. But if you're a comic that really wants stage time and to show your craft and to crush in front of audience and build a following, it would behoove you to promote. It will behoove you to be known as a person that promotes. I think that I get booked a little bit just because people see me promoting shows and they see that I do promote. I will tag everybody that's on the flyer and post it and, you know what I'm saying, ask people to come. I will. Yeah. So like, why would I want you on my show if you're not going to promote? That's what I don't even be saying that. I don't care because I just know my responsibility, but I know other people feel that way. And then they want you to have some heat on your name and whatever that means like some of it's like I see you on other flyers or it's like your name is in other people's mouths or whatever, dude. The concept of it is really murky.
I can understand if the streets are talking and they want you there. Mm-hmm. But what I personally don't understand is the following count because I've seen many people in LA that do LA shows that have 66,000 or 20,000 or 15,000.
And booty.
And not only booty, they don't bring nobody.
They also don't bring anybody.
Nobody show up. And they did post it in their stories, but
they posted one time. And they posted one time, and it's almost like, don't even, this is something I'm doing, but it don't really matter. They know what they're doing. Yeah. If you really, really trying to, if it was their show, they would be like, It would be heavy. They would be out talking about it. They would be doing a lot of other things. You know what I'm saying? There's levels to this shit. It's not just posting. And we know that. And nevertheless. So, like, some of it is your friends. I booked Josh Edelman, shout out to him, a good person that produces and is a funny comic and other things. He posted this thing about why he books certain people, and I thought about doing that, but I'm like, bro, how egotistical is that? You know, I just, the way he did it didn't come off like that. But what I was about to say was gonna have so much angst and attitude in it that it was gonna sound disgusting. Well, just like the reasons why I book my friends sometimes. I also book people that I know are hilarious. I'm also curating a night. Like, I can't book a super hood comic with a super East Sider comic.
There is a recipe.
There's a recipe.
To a good show.
Also, there could be a whole bunch of really smarty, heady people that I have that say a lot of really clever things, but I need at least one ignorant person that I know is gonna get like that ignorant laugh out. Right?
Yeah.
Or a smart dude, or somebody that's just gonna say like heavy, punchy stuff. So like, he said a lot of different things as the reasons why he posted. And I thought it was really good, man, to go read and just like, man, that is true. Like, also coming and hanging out at people's shows too. That's a huge thing.
Actually showing up and show out, show support.
Also, I be forgetting about motherfuckers too. If I don't see you at the top of my, if I don't see you at the top, sometimes I forget you.
Time out real quick.
Dang it! I said
no, you know what's funny? Because
I've been doing
the first time, Carolina. For the first time, it's not me. I want this on record. It's not me. It's not me. It's not me. So I'm gonna say mine for next week. No, but keep it pushing.
Man, you know, and this is why I don't get booked on that many radio shows. You know,
it's cool. It's cool. It's cool until they take away my license.
I don't
and
want
then
that.
I think I'm gonna holler at you.
I don't want that to happen. Man, it's not okay. I truly apologize.
Until I'm banned federally.
No, we don't want that. Jeez. So
what you're saying?
What was I even talking about?
No, you were talking about how there were a lot of cats that don't even bother to show up.
Oh, yes.
You have to show up and show some level of support.
Sometimes I see somebody and they come to my show and I'm like, oh man, you exist and you are funny. Yo, let me put you on next month. I forgot about you. And I'm looking for people like you sometimes. Sometimes when I'm looking, I'm like thinking about booking who should I book? I haven't seen somebody in a long time too. I don't have like just a whole Rolodex. Now I put you in my wish list. You know, some of that is that.
And
know?
Honestly, in this industry, it's kind of hard to remember everybody. I remember when I started comedy back in 2013, and I remember I would kind of get a little offended, like, dude, I just met you last week. You don't remember who I am? But, you know, now I'm thinking that really was egotistical of younger Tony, because we do run across a lot of people, and you do have to, like, hey, what's up? You know, be in the face.
That's a part of marketing. How do you make yourself memorable to somebody?
Ooh.
How do you make yourself memorable? How do you nurture relationships with people too? Genuine, organic nurturing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, man, I have one friend that like is, you know, he's probably on the spectrum, and he's systematic with building friendships. And he's called me and said, like, hey man, when you're meeting these people, what you need to do is schedule a date and schedule a lunch with them. And it sounds robotic, but quite frankly, you know, once I, you know, got off the phone with him and thought about it after, and then also somebody invited me to something, and then I almost said no just because of whatever I was going through that day. That person was reaching out saying, man, Mark, that you thought, dang, Mark is cool. Let me hit him up and go to this thing. And then we could have had a good time, and now we got a memory together. And now whatever, you know, jobs or whatever, somebody like it's all like all these things. And yeah, that person may not have a whatever, but you'll know if you cool with that person, link up.
Yeah. And you never know who they may know. Who just that one key memory, like you was talking about, can be a very deciding factor to where they might have an offshoot conversation elsewhere, and then they say, well, I'm looking for a black dude with dreads and color. Oh, you know what? I just had lunch with one of those. His name's Mark.
You were my guy. You were the first dude. You made me laugh, and I thought, like,
that part.
Yeah. And
that part.
We don't realize that we sitting in our house waiting for the phone to call, you know.
You know, I was having this conversation with a comic I think culturally, as Black folks, I think even in this entertainment side, I tend to see a lot. We are, proverbially waiting in the house for someone to call to where, or, I just see this thing where to be selected by someone to go on road with them, or to be selected by someone to play a movie role. And there's not a lot of work coming as hard as I see other ethnicities move in this business. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's a thing. I mean, the way people network and then the output of a couple of people, I do see some people killing it. That's, that are out here making things, consistently and making good stuff too.
Yeah.
So I will say that like in this last year, I've learned what it means to be outside and like actually connect with people in a different way, and hopefully that I gauge also who I'm engaging with and all those types of things. So, it takes a lot though. It takes money too.
It do. Cause you gotta do the lunches. You gotta hang out at certain parties. The gas. That's
bogus. So I picked up the phone and called somebody, just to say what's up, and I just said what's up to him and checked on him, People ain't doing that. You should do that. It's not that bad. Everybody ain't got time for that all the time, but still, like, I genuinely did want to say how they were doing.
But if you could like the post, you could hit them up.
Come on. Yes. So it sounds gross because it sounds like I'm talking about networking, but I want to do it. Or that sounds like a gross word, but I really actually got friends that I want to be good friends to.
Networking only sounds gross because I guess people associate it with just business, but it's no, you grow a business network and then you have your personal network and then you even have your family network because you don't like all your cousins.
Sure, no.
I mean, right? We all got favorite cousins out here. I mean, right? And then you got your cousins.
You got that cousin.
It's him again.
Hilarious.
I am that cousin for most of my family. What you want now, Tony?
Yeah.
No, so how, as far as your comedy music going along, how would you like it to end this year? Just for this year. What are the set markers?
Just this year.
Since you have 2 new entries to the artistic realm, what is going to be your scale of measure again on all right, this was good.
All right, I sold out. I would like to sell out my the show I'm doing with my homie Keenan Lewis.
And where's that show at?
It's a secret location, actually.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a secret location. We have
find out about it.
We post a flyer and promote it, and then when we get the Eventbrite, and once you grab tickets, then right before the show, we give you the address.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're gonna be pushing tickets again soon. It's free for now. It ain't gonna be too much longer.
You heard the man.
Yeah. And also we stream it, and so I would like to get my streams. I would like to, if I could, at least surpass 100 followers on the Twitch. I don't even know.
That's big.
I wanted to do that. And got people on there. What else? For music, man, let me finish 7 beats. Let me finish 7 beats that I actually want to put on, my own
7 days a week, like Cree Summers. No, I'm just saying that.
My own at least project,
Okay.
And whatever that means, that's at least finish those beats. I got them started, but they need to be mixed and stuff like that. Now we going into my brain. It's that's a whole nother brain, I do make my own beats and stuff like that. And then I got friends I got my cousin and 2 other friends that send me beats every once in a while, and they are growing at an alarming rate. So they're fire, man. I'm just really happy. I feel like my whole circle and everybody is just stepping their whole game up around me, and it's fire.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep it going, keep it rocking with the comedy portion of the comedy plug. Once again, our featured comment of the hour is Crystal Adams off of that Ain't I a Wombat? And you know where you heard it at, baby. Go ahead and give us a follow over at fm.comedyplug, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You know where it's at, baby. Maybe a Blitter, Black Twitter. Let's do it. Oh, party people, thank you for kicking it with us this whole entire time. Again, if you're listening to 101.5 FM, we appreciate each listen every Saturday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. You could catch us live with the replay on Wednesday mornings. That's 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. So you get really naughty with us. And if you're listening to the stream, shout out to the people on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, YouTube. Oh, that's if you're listening on Pharcyde TV. We drop every Wednesday, 2 p.m. You can get the whole visual, see the things that the homegirl Lee does. That's the producer. You can check her out and all her work over at Maven Content Creator. If you like any of the things you've seen on our socials, that's at fm.comedyplug, baby. And it ain't about me, man. It's about my homie with me. Hey, Mark, you have a good time?
I had a great time, man. This is incredible.
Man, this was fun, right?
Right?
We got into some stuff.
It's crazy. Didn't expect that.
Oh, man. So, real quick, before we get into the wrap-ups, what would you say scares you most about the future?
What would I say scares me most about the future? Most likely this technology, probably. And
kind of crazy, right?
I mean, this AI stuff, alongside the fact that we don't realize that the work of these fields is slipping out of our hands.
Like that.
Robotics, AI.
Yeah.
A lot of jobs are disappearing, and we're not being equipped or educated to transition.
And this sort of happened with America before, when everybody was farmers and it was becoming a business mindset, and there was no one really prepped the farmers to be like, yo, you may want to put the grapes down and pick up a book. Percentages.
Yeah.
And that was
invest in, these tractors, or invest in connecting with these grocery stores or whatever, because it's going into industrial land now. Yeah. I mean, there are a whole lot of farmers that did do the right thing, and they do have connections. All the milk we drink, everything. But it's just like,
not everybody made it.
Man, I saw this girl. It looked like it was a white guy talking. He was like, do you guys think that AI is going to take over the world? And then he was like, it already has. I'm not even real. And then this white dude turned into an Asian girl, and then she explained how she created him on an AI thing, tweaked her voice to make it sound like a man, and just overall, mimicked it, physically moved it the way she wanted to. And it's just like, that's everything. She invented a person. She made a person through AI, picked their face, made them as attractive as she wanted, and then put them in a shirt, named them, and then talked.
That's so scary. Like, that takes avatars to a whole new level.
That takes everything, yeah. And she did it very simply and showed us how to do it. There's programs that we all can use that are not even complex. They're simple programs. You type in, you've been seeing people type in like Trump as Hamburglar, and then it's very easy to make that, and I'm saying like a real Photoshop. So what is truth anymore? We already had this whole war, we pretty much had a Cold War during COVID.
Right, I think it's still going on.
It's still going on. Of people,
we just waiting for Ukraine to die out.
QAnon, Ukraine, all of that. People believing things that weren't true, psyops, totally strongly believing things to the point where they rushed the Capitol, And so what happens when they can infiltrate and do that to some people? I truly believe TikTok, even though as entertaining as it is, that's a huge, easy way to get a whole bunch of people to learn some stuff that could not be true.
Because regardless of what social media app is created, there's always going to be a subculture to that app that they can't control. Just like Facebook, just like Twitter. Hey, most of the P that I watch is on Twitter. It's the new XXV.
It's been said. That's been said several times. It's true. It's better than.
You're on Pornhub? Why? You so outdated?
I don't even got to search. It just comes on my page. And it's fire.
But it is a lot of subcultures and submarkets that can be created, especially, in the AI world. What happens where it's these people that just create people to take over banks or whatever. It's like like you could stage what's to stop someone from staging a Zoom call with an AI? I could already change the background. What's to stop me from putting a fake person with a fake background and
have a whole class. Also, they are preparing for there to be like a cyber virus. They're preparing for there to be a huge, like how there was the corona. They're like an epidemic, but on a cyber level where like...
Is this some Y2K stuff again?
It's not that. It's just like, it's not like saying all the computers are going to get shut down, but more like something happening with the banking system or something happening with the electronic grid or something like that. So what would happen if we dealt with something like that?
Honestly, here's what scares me about the internet. There's actually people who know how to use it and access it, because there's supposed to be different tiers to the internet or whatnot, and I'm one of the basic users of the internet.
I'm very basic,
but again, like you said, there's these cyber groups and people who it's a playground to them. Bro,
let me tell you something. This dude, I was at a show and this guy came up to me and he said, he was like, man, I got this little device. Did you ever play the movie Watchdog, or the game Watchdog? Mm-mm. Okay. There was a dude that could ride around the city. He was a hacker. And he could control the stoplights and all that type of stuff. So police would be chasing him and he could make the lights turn red and then they get hit by a car because people start driving. Things like that. Yeah. This dude had a little device in his pocket. This is real life now. Had a device. He said, I could turn on anything I want in this room with this little thing. If it has a radio frequency, he turned on the TV. Turn on TV. So that exists. So he could look in somebody's pocket, get their phone numbers. He could do all this stuff. Bro.
That's
Now he wasn't a bad person, but why you even got that though?
That part. And there is no sense. There is no circumstance where someone has power and does not abuse it even a smidgen. I have never seen a record of history. Wow. There's not a story written where someone was given anything of power, regardless of how big and absolute.
You using it.
You're going to use it. And 9 times out of 10, even when you try to use it for good, you done jacked up some stuff.
I mean, if you using it outside of any other paperwork, come on, man.
Yeah. What did it do?
Come on, man.
Man, but Mark, man, this was really a good time. Mm-hmm. This was really fun.
I'm glad we did this, man. You asked me to do it early on, and I'm sorry that I just took it till now, man. But I'm glad.
No, it's cool, man. Mm-hmm. I'm not tripping. People got lives, bro. Like, yeah. I know there's cats out here that be like vindictive if you don't like.
Mm-hmm. No, I wouldn't have been like no.
Like or whatever. But man, it's life, and we're always going to catch up when we catch up, and definitely would love to have you shoot through again later on in the future. As long as the FCC don't come for my licensing.
I apologize for that. I want to say a real apology to the FCC for that drop I had. I apologize. There was one thing y'all asked me not to do, and I messed it up.
No. I'm just happy. I'm sorry. I'm picking on you because I'm happy it's you this time. Because this is our 31st episode, so 30 of the times it's been me. And always get
it was just me this time? I'm the only one that's messed up? Yeah. Oh, just like me. Just like me.
30 out of 31, but this one episode, I don't know what I'm on, but...
Yo, I was on the mic like this talking too. And I was like, yeah. Wow. Oh.
No, that's the only reason I invested. But man, again, pleasure having you. Definitely want you to come through again, especially if you drop a comedy album or any type of album. We'd definitely love to have you come.
And I'm gonna get you on my show, man. One of the ones I got, bro, come through, bro. We got them on a weekend now, so it's not a weekly time.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah,
because I'm for promoter. It's
I know. I got that in mind.
It's some change.
Yeah.
To get out here, but go ahead, tell the people again about your shows, where they could catch them at, where they could find them at, where they could view them at.
Yeah. So I got Parking Sucks. It's me and Keenan Lewis. The next one is October 1st. We got a fire lineup. We got Chris Gorbos, Steve Fury, Bruce Gray, Felicia Folks, Brian Blanks. So that's gonna be dope. At a secret location, you can look at Parking Sucks Live. No, Parking Sucks LA, and the link will be in the bio there for you to get those tickets. And also, we stream it on Twitch, so you don't have to be in LA. You can watch it, and that link is in the bio as well. What else? I mean,
where can they find you at?
Oh, my Instagram is Rastafari Unicorn, and so many other things on there. You can find my music, Sad Boy Marco. That's in the link in bio on there. And
what's your group's rap name album they could check out?
The Initiates. Go stream that. Go look that up. There's so many good artists on there. We really did make some jams. And yeah, go through there. Tell me what you like, because there's different levels to these bops. So tell me what you like about them. Yeah, that's really it, man.
Oh, thank you again, my G. Thank you again for everyone listening. And once again, if you like any of the songs that you heard today, you could go ahead and click the link in the bio if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, even YouTube if you're viewing us on Pharcyde TV. That's every Wednesday at 2 p.m. If you like to hear us on the live stream, you can always repeat the episode on the lpf.la app, or we'll see you again next Saturday, every Saturday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and the replays on 101.5, 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. This has been the speech guy, Tony Asar, ASA. I gotta leave you with some sounds from the pod, baby. This is Stevie Crooks with that Parkland freestyle. And until next time, ooh, in Aux We Trust.